I've been doing video for 20 years now, and the cycling part it started like later, so probably like a little, maybe like 13 years, and
Okay.
then I started making like videos, like content and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, but this stuff I've been doing it for a while. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Because I mean, I like to do the YouTube content,
Mhm.
although I haven't got to do much the last year and a half or so.
It's a lot of time, man. It's
It is. I mean, you get a GoPro and you're like, this is great. And
yeah,
then you got to go edit the thing,
right.
and you got all this video, and nobody wants to watch it.
That's, you know what, that it's funny you say that because that's one thing that I struggle when I started. Like, I mean, I don't really make any money out of the YouTube
Yeah.
stuff because it's not like I have millions and millions of subscribers. But one thing that I was like, why the videos don't get any views?
Yeah.
And then I found out that on YouTube, you gotta like post something that it's kind of like a solution for somebody.
Hmm.
Like, how do I reset my iPad?
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know, things
Yeah.
like that. So those are the things that people goes on YouTube for. And like I post the videos for like maybe like 3 or 4 years, and videos will get like 3 views,
Yeah.
5 views.
Yeah.
Then I realized I was like, I'm a nobody. Nobody wants to know what I'm doing. So I started posting more like, hey, this is coming up. This is a new bike. These are like new components, whatever they're coming
Yeah.
out. And that started attracting more people.
Yeah, I mean, I mainly just wanted to record stuff that I ride, and
Right.
then I ride a lot of stuff that most people don't ride.
Hmm.
So whether it's for me or for somebody else who's out there looking
Yeah.
to say, oh, where's Wheatstone at, or where's Elliot's Knob, or someplace else, I just figured it's some way for somebody to get an idea of what those trails are like.
What they
So,
look like.
but
Yeah.
nobody's really into the point of view unless you're a really good rider, and Remy, Ratali, whatever, who's out there doing crazy stuff, and that's not me. So
Have you
I'm happy to hold on to the bike the whole way down.
have you seen the like the new Insta 360 cameras? Have you
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
those?
yeah.
So those will record like the whole,
Hmm.
like if you mount one of those in the front and like one in the back, it covers like
Yeah.
everything, like the sky, the
That's a
ground.
lot to see, though.
It's a lot to see. And here's the catch, like people will see the videos, like let's say me, I saw the video and I
Yeah,
was like, oh, I need one of those. And then I got it. And then the editing, like if you think like spending time on editing like a GoPro video, like
yeah.
15 minutes or so, if you're editing 15 minutes of like 360 video, it's a pain, dude. It's
Hmm.
like, because when you, first of all, you got to use their software. You can't just use like a regular
Oh yeah,
editing.
yeah,
And then you get like a pony, like you said, like a circle of video, and then you kind of like have to drag the video of what you want. Like let's say you just want the handlebars, so you have to, every time you want the handlebars, you have to drag it there,
mm,
and then you make the clip. And then let's say you want to see the person on the side, and then you have to like cut and then drag the little mouse thingy, whatever, and
yeah.
then move it to the left. And then the cool thing about that is that it makes videos for like, because you know vertical is like this, right?
Hmm.
Horizontal is the new like famous way of content that you can make, so it records both at the same time.
Oh, okay,
So that makes it cool.
yeah.
But like most of the videos that I make these days, I make it on a 360 just because it covers everything. Like if
Is
you're
that what are you using, like the Insta 360?
Insta 360,
Okay.
yeah, they came out with this little guy.
Hmm.
Essentially, this is like a GoPro,
Yeah.
you know, the selfie, whatever, you know, mounting. But the one that has like the dual lens,
Hmm.
that's personally that's the way to go. I've been using that for like maybe like 2 3 years now,
Oh wow. Okay.
and I love it. It records 4K, 60 frames, whatever. Really, really good pictures. I haven't used the GoPro since I think the last one was 11 that I
Oh wow.
bought, and I
Yeah.
think they're like on 14 or 15.
13. They're
13?
13.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not too far.
They've been on 13. I've got a 13. I
Yeah.
mean, they've been on it for a long time, but I think they're trying to figure out what to do with all the competition now. So,
I
I mean,
was,
I like it. It's simple. I'm used
it's
to it.
simple. Yeah. If you're
You
used
know.
to the app friendly, how it is, like you can export your photos.
Mhm.
But I mean, I think they lost the patent of like action cameras
Mhm.
because I had stocks of GoPro.
Yeah.
And for the longest, they were like $8, you know, $13.
Yeah.
Dude, but as soon as like DJI started pushing cameras and like the other one, it just dropped to like
Yeah.
50 cents. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know why they don't. You would think that they would have the brain power to keep up
Innovation, yeah.
and innovate. Yeah, I mean they kind of started the whole thing, and it seems like
Right.
somebody was resting on their laurels, and the competition caught up and passed them. But it's easy for me to use,
Right.
and I usually just use my Apple iMovie, and
Hmm.
I can edit that fairly quickly. I just have too much video, so I let it run for a
Yeah.
long time, and then I'm like, oh man,
There is a niche of content for like scenic view rides,
yeah,
whatever, of where people just post like the long, like hour and a half of like just like the views of whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Sedona 2 years ago. I've got a bunch of video from there I'd like to post. I was out in Downeyville last summer. I went up to Canada last fall with my
Okay.
wife and did a couple cool shots up there. So eventually I'll get it out. So
Do you mainly do mountain biking? Is
yeah,
that all you do? Nothing else?
yeah. So and then I mean, I mainly want to do also just some workshop stuff because there's a lot of like tools and things I use
Hmm.
like once a year. So like the next time it comes around, like, oh crap, how do I use this thing?
Oh, you
I've got some like bearing. I mean, I've got a huge workshop, and
yeah.
I've got some bearing pullers for like your bottom bracket bearings and stuff, so you can pull them out.
Hmm.
I've got a ultrasonic cleaner, so I mean, I pop the caps off and run it through there, get all the old grease out, and repack it with new
Oh,
grease. So, but that tool, it's not super easy to use, and so every time I pull it out, it's like from enduro bearings, I think. But yeah, I gotta remember how to use it. So I'm like,
yeah.
okay, maybe I'll just video this, and then I can just go back to that. So
It's step one. But
yeah,
that's what I was telling you. That's what like that's the content that gets like a lot of stuff on
yeah,
YouTube, like the how to. Hey, how do I use this tool?
yeah,
How do I make this work? And I don't know. And I just gotta like bury on the new things like the podcast. It's like I try to do like one episode a month
hmm,
just to like especially for like events
yeah,
like yours, which we're gonna talk about. And by the way, we're already recording and everything. And like I started doing that just because I like the kind of like the content. Like I watch a lot of podcasts and I find it helpful, especially from someone from experience like you and other people that we had on the podcast. And then I just find it useful the way that I find long videos. I'm like, okay, maybe I should start posting those, and those have
yeah,
done really good on the on the YouTube.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. You think podcasts would do well? So I mean,
Hmm.
especially you get interesting folks. So I don't know that I
Do you watch any podcasts?
not a lot.
Did you
Yeah,
listen to any
some of them.
podcasts?
I've listened to some. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I'm severely time limited. So, I mean, my day starts at 3 in the morning. I got
Jeez.
3 hours of commuting every day, hour and a half to morning, hour and a half to evening. So by the time I get home, I'm
Yeah.
also the cook in the house. So I got to get
Oh,
home.
really?
I got to fix dinner for, my wife and my son's living at home right now. So I fix dinner for them, clean up a little bit. And then, then it's time to get on the trainer or
Okay.
go work out. And by that time, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's time to go to bed and do it all over again. So
Yeah. Maybe I have too much time because I do watch. I feel bad now.
enjoy it now. I mean, yeah, I've never had a lot of time just
Yeah.
because of my career and juggling the family and stuff. But
Yeah.
I seem to have had more time than I have now. So
You have two kids, right? Or
I do.
you
They're
do?
both adults. They're both
Okay.
out of the house. So my son just happened to move back from North Carolina, and he took a job that's like 10 minutes from our house. So
Oh, nice.
it's like, this area is expensive. So why don't you,
Yeah.
you can give us some rent and live out of our house rather
Yeah.
than go and paying out on town. So
And especially right now, everything is
yeah,
expensive, man.
yeah,
It's like if you want to live, it's like almost impossible unless you're making a lot of money. It's almost impossible to live by yourself and
yeah.
have your own place.
Oh yeah, this place is
Well, I don't know about Virginia, but
ridiculously
here in
expensive.
Maryland,
Yeah,
it's like this
I
county.
don't think it's any cheaper. Not at all.
Yeah,
So, but my daughter lives in Southern California in Orange County,
that's it.
and her one bedroom apartment's about the same as my mortgage. So
That's
it's
wild.
crazy. Yeah. So
And then property taxes are not getting any cheaper.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
nothing gets cheaper.
It's like ours just got, excuse me, ours just got bumped by like $100 I think it's a month. Yeah, a
Yeah.
month. Something like that.
Yeah, they got to pay for stuff somehow, right? So
We do.
They think we're made out money. I mean, I don't mind if I see where it goes, but
Yeah.
you know, you drive around, the roads have potholes. You know, none of the streets seem to be maintained. I mean, they're not terrible, but it gets frustrating. You're
Yeah.
like, where's our money going? You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I lived in Texas for a couple of years from '07 to 10, and high property taxes there, no income tax, but the infrastructure and the parks and the roads, everything was like immaculate. So I mean, I'm like, okay, we're paying a lot, but you can see it every day when you're driving around.
Right.
You know,
It's clean.
yeah. I mean, anyway,
Yeah, last year, mid last year, I convinced my wife, let's move to West Virginia. And it's right on the border to I don't know if you're familiar with that area with where Point of Rocks is.
Okay,
It's up,
yeah.
yeah. So it's like right at the corner where like Maryland and Virginia and West Virginia kind of like connect.
Yeah.
And I had convinced her, I was like, if we move over there, we're not going to be too far from the family. It's going to be an hour away.
Yeah.
Like we have a townhouse right now, so property tax for the townhouse is like 6,000 a year. And I told her, look, it's only like 1,500 of taxes a year. We're gonna get a single family home, bigger than this with property and everything. And then it kind of like fell through because we took a drive, and it's like, yeah, this is far.
It's a long way. Yeah. It's not a bad area up there,
It's
though.
beautiful.
So,
Like for us that we
yeah.
like the outdoors,
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, it's mountains everywhere, and
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. But the commute, I mean, I work from home, so it really didn't really matter for me. And then we have she's gonna be a five in September, and we kind of like wanted like a good public school system,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then she drives every day to work, so it was kind of like, okay, we'll circle this in in a couple of
We'll
years.
come back to this. Yeah.
But on talking and everything, it sounded good. So, but it didn't happen. But
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because we're looking at probably moving to West Virginia here
Yeah.
in another couple of years. So I want to get over like the Wolf Gap area,
okay,
Wardensville, just because I want to be close to where I can just roll out
yeah,
and be on the trails, ride as much as I can
right.
while I still can. So, and that'll be pretty close. My son will probably move somewhere around Front Royal, Winchester. So
That's further down, right?
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be close to where where I want to go. So, I mean, where I want to go is just west of there. So it'll work out pretty.
You were just there riding. We were there riding, not riding, but I had a church event over there, and I took the gravel bike to the area of I think it's called George National Forest. I think that's what it's called, and it's just beautiful, man. It's like open,
Yeah.
no cars. You get those country roads that you can just stay on it, and you don't see a car for minutes. But it's beautiful out there, and I mean the trails. I'm not a fan of like technical trails, but like rocky and
Yeah, I mean that's funny because I'm that's what I am a fan of. So
Yeah.
I mean I like to get the backcountry, ridgeline stuff,
Yeah.
the crazier stuff. So I don't know.
Were you on the Stokesville 60/40 or?
No, I was down last weekend visiting my
Okay.
folks. So they're aging, so we gotta get home every once in a while and check
Yeah.
on them. So so I missed that. But yeah, going out this week. So
Yeah. All right, so let's start so people gets to know you.
all right,
I have a few questions. We're gonna kind of like make it like a rapid question. So,
sure.
what is your favorite post ride food?
Oh, favorite post-ride food. It typically ends up being burgers. Because that's the easiest thing to get. I mean, burgers, tacos,
Yeah.
sometimes pizza, depending if it's the right thing or
Yeah.
not. So those three would probably be my favorite. So with a beer.
with the beer. Are you a Shimano or SRAM?
I'm Shimano.
Shimano. Okay, we're losing him. Are you Garmin or Wahoo?
I'm Garmin.
Garmin. Okay, well, wait.
Yeah, I'm old school, so Shimano has been there forever, and
Yeah.
I've been there with that. So
I recently just switched to Garmin. I find it more like colorful, like the screen and all of that. So
yeah, they've done a couple updates, and I
yeah.
have like the 1050. So beautiful. I hope I never hit it wrong. I've cracked plenty of screens in my day. So
The 1050, is that a new one?
yeah, it's
That's
that
the
bigger,
big one, right?
Yeah. So
I switched from the 1050 because this year I'm planning on doing more mountain biking, and man, the battery on the 1050, you can go with that
oh yeah,
guy
forever.
for forever.
Yeah.
And I got used to that, and I used the 850 on a longer ride this weekend, and I finished. It was like 70 miles or so, and it was already at 20%.
Oh wow.
And I was like, man, I missed the other one. I feel like and you use the 1050 on the mountain bike, no issues?
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Wow.
I take a mountain bike mount. I flip it backwards so that
So it
it's
rests.
over top the stem. So I mean, it's pretty well protected.
Okay.
You go over the bars.
Right.
The only time I've damaged them was at the shed. I did an endo, and the bike just happened to tip over right on a rock.
Yeah.
So the rock went right into the Garmin. It wasn't the 1050. It was the one prior to that, like the 1030 or something like that. It still worked, though.
Nice.
The screen was cracked. It still worked.
Last
And then
year-
I paid the crash replacement to get a new one. So
What's their class repair? Is
it's
it
like
good?
120.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
110, something
That's
like
not
that.
bad.
Yeah,
Versus
it's not bad at all.
$600.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we got you on Garmin. As far as bikes, carbon bike, alloy bike, or titanium?
I do mostly carbon.
Okay.
I do have an aluminum as well.
Okay.
So
That's the trainer.
no, actually, I mean, I have two Ripmos.
Hmm.
I got an AF that I use for some of the just trails that I know are going to be bashing hard,
Okay.
and I also use it a lot for like trail work when
Okay.
I'm hauling the chainsaw and that sort of stuff. So it just for some reason seems to do a little better when you're carrying all the extra weight. So
All right. Do you do bips, shorts?
I'm
or
a big guy.
You're a bib guy. Okay. Even on mountain biking.
I am. Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I started doing the endurance rides back around 15, and I looked up, and everything said, "Hey, if you're going to be on long rides, get a good bib."
Right.
So I wear ASOS, and
Yeah.
they're expensive, but they never let me down. So
Do you like the ones with the pockets on the side? Have you used those?
yeah, I go up and down in weight, so
Yeah.
I usually have shorts over top of me. So
Oh,
I
okay.
don't want to scare the kids when I'm on the trail. But I'm down right now, so I actually look decent.
You look good,
Not like
man.
Not like I'm
I think
carrying
a couple years
like
ago-
a spare kid with me.
Yeah. I guess this already answered the question. Technical trails or fast and flow trails. So you like technical stuff.
Yeah, flow's great, but it tends to like put me to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I end up like riding off the trail because it's hard for me to pay attention when I'm just flowing through. But now if I got rocks and
Yeah.
a lot of technical stuff, I'm paying attention. So
So even on endurance, you like technical trails. Like if you're doing like a long,
yeah, well, I mean, I don't want 80
yeah.
miles of just tech, but I like having that challenge.
A little, okay.
Yeah.
Favorite cycling event that you have ever done? Quantico doesn't count.
No, yeah, definitely Margie Gessick. So
Can
up
you
in
can
Michigan.
you give us a little?
So yeah, I mean Margie Gessick, Jeremiah Bishop said it's the hardest one-day event in the U.S. It's
Okay.
up in upper Michigan, the UP. So 100-mile route. It's actually 108 miles. It takes me, because I'm not a fast guy and I never seem to hit it when I'm in shape, it takes me about 23 to 24 hours to finish.
What's the sorry.
26 is the limit. So
Okay.
anyway, it's Jeremiah Bishop did it in about 10 something. So he, hopefully he doesn't watch this. He'll call up going, "Hey, Mike, I was faster than that." But yeah, it's usually you take whatever you do in like the SM100,
Yeah.
multiply by 1.5, and that's about what your time's going to be there. It's a really great route. Very, very tough the whole way through. And then the last 40, 50 miles is just, it's insane.
Like rocks and stuff, or
Yeah, rocks, a lot of steep
Okay.
steep climbs, a lot of trails. They go. Some of the locals are like, oh yeah, they run all those trails in reverse for the Margie Gessick because it's much harder than running them their normal routes. But yeah, they're just tough. And so then, I hit that point about I hit 65 when you're going through Lake Jackson. I usually have an hour to 2 hours of daylight left, and then you're trying to get through. You circle back around about mile 85, and by that time it's dark, and so
Yeah.
that last 28 miles is all in the dark. You're going about
Jeez.
2.5 to 3 miles an hour, just because it's just hard,
Yeah.
and you're tired by that point too. So,
Right.
but it's probably, I've done it four or five times now. It's probably the best event I do. So
Wow.
it's one, it's hard. Two, the community up there really rallies around that event. Todd Bouquet, the event director for that, really knows how. I mean, that thing sells out in like seconds.
Really?
600 plus riders, and it will sell out in just a matter of like 30 seconds. Everything's sold out. He advertises it. Everybody lines up at the computer. I mean, it's insane. I missed it one year because I was driving, and
Do they say when they
yeah,
drop
oh
it?
yeah, you know
Okay.
when it's going to open. And so I'm
Okay.
driving, and I like tried to pull over, and my credit card hung up or something. So I ended up, I mean, I've communicated with them a fair amount because I'm, an event director too. And I
Right.
was like, dude, the credit card hung up. I didn't make it in. He's like, okay, yeah, just give me some time. And then about a week later, he's like, okay, you're set. So
Nice.
he was kind enough to put me in. So, but yeah, that's by far my favorite event. I would say my second favorite is Gordon Wadsworth does a couple series of races. He does the Journey in April, which is like different things, but it's a team event.
Okay.
That's a lot of fun to do. You got to have a partner in that event. I've done the 65 and the 100, but he and his wife put on a really good, and his team put on a really good event. And then every November he does the Mountaineer out in it's not Floyd, that's like Newcastle somewhere around there, down close to Roanoke. That's a really fun, fantastic gravel event. I've done that every year since he's done it.
Oh, cool.
So a lot of fun. It's out at like Wilderness at Eagle Landing. It's a really cool place to host it from. We usually camp out there. I stayed
Nice.
in a lodge last year. They have good food they serve there. And it's like a little cantina. Just a really cool place, and
Yeah.
the route's a lot of fun too. So I mean, that's what I look for. And I'll talk about that a little bit when we talk about the Epic. But well marked course,
Yeah.
a lot of fun route, just the good post ride environment. So
I feel like events like that are, I mean, we'll get to that, but like in my case, when I started riding, Quantico was like the first event that I did.
yeah,
And like if you want to challenge yourself on
like the Epic or like a race at Quantico.
no, your
The
event.
Epic, okay.
Yeah, the Quantico Epic was my first event
Yeah.
ever. Like, I think I was probably like a year or so in, and this is gonna tell you a lot of how unexperienced I was when I did the event. I took a fat bike and it was muddy.
Yeah, yeah. What year was that? Was
I
that
mean,
one of our first years?
no, that was the first year.
Okay.
2017, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. I'm amazed that that's the worst year we've had as far as the weather. Yeah, you've got the original. Yeah, sweet.
That's
You've got the plank too, right?
I think so.
The wooden plank.
You know what? I looked for it today
Couldn't find-
since we're already on it.
Man, yeah, you've got the whole collection, all the medals. Sweet.
I was looking for the wood plank and I couldn't find it, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, because I'm reorganizing my basement. I was like, I couldn't find it. But what I was getting to, like you're talking about all the events, and it's like, if you're starting on the sport, it's like the perfect way to challenge yourself, just because you have the support, you have the food, like the hydration,
Yeah.
and I was one of those that I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So on my camelback, I had like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think I look like a taqueria or like because I have so many things that I was like, what about if I need this? What about if I need this? And then you realize that you guys have everything
Yeah.
on the course. So gels and hydration and water. And I feel like that's one of the things. Like if you ever want to challenge yourself, like you're saying, like these big events like that, like Shenandoah and other events, you don't really have to do much as far as carrying stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you have like your a specific like hydration or pills or whatever you like to use. But it's like the perfect time to like challenge and do something like different or long distance. And I mean, I was there on the Quantico, and like I had no idea what I was doing. And Craig was the one who was like, "Hey, let's go do it." I was like 50 miles. I think they cut it short that year, right?
Yeah, I think so because of the rain. Yeah.
Because of the rain, it
Yeah.
got muddy, and a few people was like having accidents on one of like the gravel descents. So I think we end up with like 35 miles, and everything was hurting at that point.
Yeah, that year was interesting because that was our first year,
Yeah,
and we ended up using the rain date on it, and it was. I mean, it was still wet. It was such a wet year,
yeah,
and it wasn't our preference to hold it, but we basically told the base, we're like, if we don't have this, we'll never have it again.
yeah,
Nobody's going to come back if we cancel this thing right out. So we went ahead and held it. It was a little bit painful because of some of the muddy spots, but I
right.
mean, everybody seemed to have a good time. Some people, I think, trashed out their drive trains, which I heard about later. But I think for an initial event, it turned out well, and we learned a lot.
Right.
I learned a lot from that event.
What was the did you also had like different routes that year, or
Yeah,
it was only you always?
we've had different routes every year.
Okay.
So I mean, we we proposed it as the 50-mile route because we wanted an epic route. They didn't want racing,
Right.
so we're like, okay, how about an epic format route? I was going to say Jim Long and Paul Hogg and Becky Barquette and I, were kind of the initial ones trying to figure this out.
Mhm.
And Jim and I we're like, okay, we know our main side routes, and then we've got the little Geiger loop out there. We knew that, so we could get about 30 miles between those two, and we're like, yeah, we need more. And so some of our members were over on OCS, and they're like, oh yeah, we've got gravel and trails over here. So we started exploring that, and we're like, oh, this is really cool. I mean, you get kind of that gravel feel. The trails over there are all natural. I mean, kind of like everything on Quantico, it's
Yeah.
not machine built. It's not really built for mountain biking per se. It's all, training type
Oh, is that what it
trails.
is?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
wow.
that's why they all go straight up and down. There's not. We've kind of built in some switchbacks,
Right.
over the years, but for the most part, you're going up and down. That's why it's such a challenging course. It's all punchy stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, so we started piecing all that together, and the course we do now is different than that first year. I mean, some things we learned, some things that have just changed over the years, and then we finally kind of settled into a good route about 2 or 3 years ago,
Okay.
and we've kept that route just mainly because the base wants you only minimizing how many times you have to cross the road. So
Oh,
we have to
okay.
have flaggers and that sort of stuff now.
Right.
So we try to minimize how much we do that, and then we try to keep people on as much the same course as possible, so that way it keeps the routing and the arrows and everything else as the least amount of confusion as possible.
Right.
Because that was our thing doing. We've done some events where you go out there and you see an arrow like every 2 miles, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Am I on the right course? I mean, I have no idea where I am." So, and you just pray you're making the right turn and that
Right.
sort of thing. So we wanted, okay, we want a really well marked course. We want, we've got certain rules about turns coming up. You want two, at least two arrows prior to the turn and one at the turn, and then one past the turn. We call it the confidence arrow. So once you've made the turn, you're like, okay, I see the arrow, I'm going the
Yeah.
right way. And then a lot of wrong ways. So if you do not make the right turn.
Right.
You should see some exits saying, "Hey, you're going the wrong way." So, and it's amazing. I mean, we have probably 2,000 signs on that route, and
That's
people will
wild.
still get lost.
Yeah.
And some people just ride with their head down. That's what we've learned as well.
I
So.
guess you can assume that everyone has a
Yeah,
GPS,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, it's a ride, not a race, but a
Yeah.
lot of people still kind of ride with that racing
Right.
mindset.
Oh, I'm sure. It's
And
like,
they have their heads down, so if there's a turn, and they'll just blow right past it. So
have you ever tracked who has been like the fastest to finish the? Was there a time? I think there was a time you tried to do 75 or no?
we were going to try to do
Yeah.
75 because we have a set of trails that's on the west side of 95. So, and we're like, okay, maybe we can combine this in, and we're gonna combine in locust shade as well. Um, the base did not like that idea though,
Right.
because people have to leave and then they have to come back, and they were concerned about
Yeah.
how are we going to manage it at the gates and all that sort of stuff. And we proposed it before, they require D-bids now. You got to register and
Right.
to get on base. And so we had proposed that before that took effect. And so we're like, yeah, it's easy enough to get on and off the base. So it's not as easy now. So,
Right.
that kind of went by the wayside. So
I can only imagine. I mean, who do you have to sit with to like kind of like, hey, can we do this? Can we do
yeah,
that? Because I
yeah,
mean, it's anything these days, you never know. So
yeah.
it's like you got to take every single little, step to cover,
And
your end and also the base.
that's changed a lot over
Yeah.
the years. I mean, the first couple of years we ran this, it was kind of fast and loose, and the guy
Yeah.
had been doing it forever, and it was a lot easier to kind of just lay stuff out. And they've gotten more regimented over the
Right.
years, and costs have gone up over the years, and all that sort of stuff. So, and,
So where does the Quantico, where is it born? Like, how did you came up with the idea of were you like working at that base, or how did it came up? How
well, I
was
mean,
it?
the mountain bike club has been around for a long time. It's had
Oh,
different variations. It's usually run by, or our president's usually either an active duty Marine or a retired Marine. Um, and so they've been around since maybe the 90s.
oh
And then,
wow.
sometimes it's a big club, sometimes it's small. And then, so I came in probably around 14 or 15 into the club. And
Okay.
I was just doing some endurance rides, and some of the folks in the club were doing longer rides as well. I mean, they've been around for a long time, but their mission is mountain biking, healthy lifestyle through mountain biking,
Hmm.
and also maintaining the trails on Quantico. So, and
Um,
the base they have resources who look after the trails, but they don't really have necessarily the resources to go out and cut all the trees off the trails. And a lot of people use the trails for running.
okay.
There's a lot of trail runners on the base that a lot of families use them, because
For
there's
hiking
base
and
housing
right.
there, and so they go out with their kids and hike. So if you have trees down and those sort of things, it's one, it's not safe, and two, it's a hindrance to, all those different users. So, I mean, the base reached out to us years ago and said, "Hey, if you don't mind, can you guys take care of these trails for us?" So a lot of us are chainsaw certified, and we get out there pretty regularly to maintain the trails for them. So,
Oh. Yeah, I can only imagine it will have to be like a full-time crew, checking, especially after storms and
yeah,
or
and
winter and things
there's
like that.
there's several of the club members who ride the trails pretty regularly. So if there's something down, they'll see it and send out to the trail boss and say, "Hey, there's trail down here." Send pictures, send locations, and then they'll send out. Usually on Saturdays they'll have a chainsawyer and a swamper go out and try to knock them out. So
And then people has maybe like reporters, like at least like in our home trails, people like will reach out to like our experts and say, "Hey, there's a tree down, so
yeah,
and so.
yeah,
You
yeah.
guys get that as
Sometimes
well."
sometimes the runners will reach out to us.
Okay,
Yeah. So.
cool, man. What's in store for this 2026?
Oh, for the Epic?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, this will be probably our final year. So,
I had that for the end, but if you
yeah.
wanna if you wanna just drop it, like
Well,
whatever you cannot say, of course, we
yeah,
understand. But
I mean, we started this 10 years ago. Um, and I was like the guy who nobody had ever done this type of event
Yeah.
before. So we figured out a route. The base said, okay, go for it. But we really didn't know how to do it. And we reached out to some local event, folks who host events. Um, it's a little cost prohibitive for us because we're like, we don't even know if we'll make any money. I mean,
Right.
if who's going to show up? Are you going to have 5 people, or are you going to have 500 people? You have no idea that first year.
Did you guys had a gap of how many people you were gonna like? What was the maximum of people?
No, not at that time. I mean, we were hoping for about 250. We were like, oh, if we get 200 or 250 people, that'd be really good. But you never run. I mean, we never run an event, so you're
How
trying
many
to.
people did you get the first year?
I want to say it was. I think about 200 signed up, but with the rain and
Wow. Yeah.
everything, it was probably only maybe 150 showed up. So I mean, it was a pretty good year.
Yeah.
So, and we've had it slowly built up. I think our max years were about 500. When we got 500 riders, I was like, this is the maximum amount that I think is safe on these trails.
Yeah.
And, everything else is crowded. So, you got to get more of everything for aid stations
Right.
and the food at the end and, the beverages. So, we kind of set a limit of 500, but the last couple of years, I mean, I would say the dynamics changed a little bit. So registrations are down. Talking
Okay.
to other event directors, everybody says, yeah, registrations are down the last several years. So we've done maybe 300 or so in the last couple of years. So I'm hoping to get 300 this year.
Okay.
We're tracking. I think we should be pretty close. So
I hope the video today helps, man. But
yeah.
I saw honestly to be an event for you to be able to ride trails that you don't have access if you're of course a regular human
Yeah.
like me. You're
Which
not like,
which is the whole purpose of the
right.
event in the first place.
And you get to ride new trails that are not accessible for regulars, and then the price, if I'm not mistaken, is 115.
Yeah, it starts at 95, but
Yeah.
now it's up to its final price of
I mean,
115.
and you guys give food with that. You guys give a shirt.
Yeah, I mean that was our other thing. So shirt, we wanted to have like that's the original shirt. This is the current
Guys
shirt.
don't get this anymore.
Yeah, my thing was when I talked with Teo with Fairfax Screen Printing, give him a shout out. I was like, I want the softest shirt. I want this. I want our shirt to be the one when you open your drawer. It's like I'm grabbing the Epic
Yeah.
shirt, and I think we've been successful with that. So you get the shirt. We do a different coin every year.
Yeah.
I try to, bottles aren't as popular these days, but I try to put a bottle opener on it and try to change up the design every year. Yeah, the newer ones grab a little better than that one, but they work really well.
Yeah.
I think I keep one in my truck. There's some of my favorite beers are only in bottles, like Maine Beer Company.
Yeah.
Their beer's only in a bottle. So, we got the coin. We do the master Montezuma's Mountain Master
Yeah,
climb challenges. So we always have a medal for that. And we have the meal at the end, and then we have the beverages. So this year we're doing DC Bra for our beer provider. I say beer provider. I mean, we love to work with them, and our goal is to highlight, some of the local breweries. So
Yeah.
we still pay for everything. So,
Yeah.
but they're always great to work with. So I mean, we've done Aslan and Fairwinds and Old Ox and Old Busthead and Lost Rhino. We've done a bunch of them over the years, so which is always really cool to see some of the local breweries that are around here. So, and then our other thing is we wanted fully supported aid stations. So, a lot of bike shops have supported us since the beginning. A1, Bikenetic, Bicycle Pro Shop has been on board with us several years. We got REI, Potomac.
Right, yeah.
Joins us, and then Handy Bikes is also our fifth one. So and they're all, they all come back every year, and that's really,
That's awesome.
really awesome to have. So you got somebody there who can help you on your bike, and help get around the. We always have water. Hammer Nutrition has sponsored us for the last. I don't think we had them the first year, but they've been with us, the other 9 years that we've done this. So, and then this year we have chamois butter too, who, that way we can. I'm a big fan of chamois butter, so
Same.
when you do long rides, you need
especially for
something.
long rides, yeah.
Yeah. So
I feel like people takes advantage too. They take the little packets home,
yeah. So
It's is there still time, like especially for sponsors? Is there still time for people to like sign up if they want to sponsor, some of the events or like a station?
yeah, that's one of the things we don't do formal sponsorships just because we're on the base. So that's really tricky. So Hammer is not really a sponsorship, like they pay us to be an event.
Okay.
They're just providing us in-kind support.
No, right,
So,
like kind of like
and
provide
same
support,
with
yeah.
chamois butter. So
Okay.
and then obviously we promote them on social media, and we promote them at the event, and
Right.
we'll have their banners up and that sort of thing, so people learn more about their products. So, which are everything. I also do have some industry. I can't talk all of a sudden. I do have some industry partner support, which I started reaching out early on in the event. And Wolf Tooth was one of our first sponsors or partners. Orange Seal has been with us since the beginning. So, and we reach out with them and say, hey, we're trying to do some rider recognition and promote your brand, and also be able to reward the riders with some different
Swag and stuff,
yeah. So Wolf Tooth has been with us for a long time, and Orange Seal always sends us stuff, and Muck Off the last couple of years always sends us stuff. Cane Creek, I'm a big fan of Cane Creek. I use a ton of their products.
Yeah.
And local, a lot of these are local manufacturers or U.S. manufacturers. I mean, Wolf Tooth's up in Minnesota, make all their own stuff. Cane Creek has a factory down in North Carolina, which I've gone to a couple times. Industry 9, I'm hoping, is going to join us this year. So
I was going to say
they're going through some. They merged with We Are One, so I'm still waiting to see if they're going to be able to join us or not. They're our last holdout, I guess I would say. We have a Cognitive MTB, which is down in North Carolina. They do clothing and those sort of things. So they always, last several years, have provided us gift certificates to pass out. So
nice.
And then this year, a friend of mine started her own company doing bike bags. So she's
cool.
Resilience Custom Crafted. So think of kind of like Rogue Panda, who was on
Like
board with
frame,
us last
like
year.
frame bags,
Frame
handlebars.
bags,
Okay.
all that sort of stuff. So she does a really nice job. She's made some for me, which I'm looking forward to kind of getting out and testing out, and then showing off a little bit. So, but she'll be there as well. She's
Cool.
she's got a couple bags she's gonna give us to hand out in the post ride stuff, and she's also has her stuff to display. So she does a really good job, and she does custom stuff as well as she'll do some pre-made stuff. So
Cool.
but definitely, if you're into bike packing or having your own bags, it's something worth looking into. So I went out and I built up a Ibis DV9 for bike packing, and it's like a purple. So I went on her site. She's like, hey, I picked out some really unique patterns. It's like a broken branch pattern with all these different shades of purple in it, but it looks fantastic on the bike. So she did a really good job.
Yeah, I feel for like endurance. I have one bag that I use if I'm doing anything more than 100 miles. I'll put the frame. It's like the frame bag that mounts under.
Underneath.
And I just put a whole bunch of like backup stuff in there just in case. It's definitely, and a lot of gravel bikes are doing the top two screws to where you can kind of like screw your bag on it. And
I have a Salsa Cutthroat, so that's
Okay.
It's got all the screw mounts to it. So now that one I have a Rogue Panda set up on, which is really nice. So I've got a buddy who rides with me, and people always comment on how nice this bags look. So I won't say his name because he'll kill me if he watches this. But we were riding the unpaved one year, and I mean, just about every other rider's like, dude, I love those bags. He's like, one more time, I'm gonna throw you off the trail. So, but anyway, yeah, they're some great products.
Yeah,
So, but
that's cool. And as far as volunteers, if anyone wants to get involved on the volunteer part,
definitely, yeah,
yeah.
we can always use volunteers. Because we always need anybody who has any medical stuff who doesn't
Okay.
mind, helping out at the aid stations. They don't really do a lot of medical. I mean, knock on wood,
Yeah.
folks are pretty safe riding our trails, which, always surprises me. But, it's just nice to have somebody in case you take a fall. I mean, we do have med kits at all the aid stations, so somebody can, give you a bandage or a ice pack or this
Right.
sort of thing, and do a quick evaluation if they think you need more support.
Right.
The EMS on base is really good. They can get anywhere out there with they've got ATVs and everything
Right.
else. So and they're pretty quick to respond. So, I mean, we need those. We have a couple of flaggers, like I said, for the road crossing thing. So we always need road crossing guards. Mainly, all they do is kind of hold up the traffic.
Right.
So when the bikes come up, they just, hold them up long enough for the flaggers to get the traffic stopped. And then you get a big crunch of people across the road. So, um, start finish area, we're always in need of volunteers as
Yeah.
well. So we're a little behind on that now, but I mean, you can go to Bike Reg, just type in Quantico,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll pull up both the volunteer because it's the volunteer registration and then the event registration. So they're
Okay.
two separate ones, but
Right. Yeah, I
yeah,
saw that today.
yeah,
What I'll do is I'll add on the video, on the comments or on the bio of the video, I'll add the bike rec link, and
yeah.
then so people can sign up. Hopefully
Yeah,
we'll
and I
get a
mean,
few.
and for the volunteers, that's the other thing we looked at and we said, okay, it's never, I mean, you give up your day. A lot of people love volunteering.
Right.
Some people are, we have a lot of club members that rather ride than volunteer, but, and I don't blame them, but, we said, well, let's do as much as we can for the volunteers. So they basically get everything the rider gets. I mean, they
Okay.
get a shirt, they get a coin, they get the meal, they get the beverages afterwards. So you get
Yeah.
everything but the ride. So,
Right.
so that's a good deal. So.
They can do the demarking at the next day and
Yeah,
ride.
yeah. I mean, yeah, we do. We usually get pretty good for course marking and demarking.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that takes a little bit of time. So, um, but we've done it enough now, so people are used to it. So,
Okay.
um, and then the event set up the day before. It takes a little bit of time, but and again, I mean, we've done it so many times,
Yeah.
so that the people who were there kind of helping me with it, Paul Hogg and Martin Fernandez and those folks, we get through it a lot faster every year than we think we will. So,
Right.
and then it's just dividing up all the aid station food and all the beverages and that sort of stuff. So,
That's a lot, man.
yeah,
So
yeah.
do you guys start working like Thursday
Yeah,
or
well,
Saturday, right? Because the
yeah,
event is
so the
Sunday.
weekend before, the event's on Saturday.
Oh, Saturday
Yeah, so the weekend before we'll do all the course marking.
on the
And
4th.
yeah, and then the fourth we'll do the main side and Geiger, and then on the fifth we'll do OCS. I mean, it takes a while to get through
Yeah.
50 miles of trail if you're doing it right. Um, and then Friday, Friday's when like all the stuff shows up. So I got to meet the porta pot guy, so I can take him around. The base brings out the tents and sets those up, and then the truck that has all the coolers and
Right.
all the aid station tents and all that sort of stuff, the tables and chairs and then so we divide that all out because we have 5 different aid stations. So we divide out what every aid station's going to get. So the next morning, we've got runners who load it up in their truck and they take it out and
Okay.
get each of the aid stations set up prior to those guys showing up. Some of them we set up the night before. That's kind of the nice thing about being on a military base is
Right.
you can put everything out the night before and nobody's going to
Nobody's
mess
gonna
with it.
mess with
Yeah.
it. That's
So,
awesome.
So I mean, we get as much stuff we set up the night before, and then that morning of, we're filling up the ice and the water. Wegmans usually supplies us the water, so I haven't got to check the website to see if they've supported this year's event. But usually they give us about 300 gallons of water, which is a big help.
Yeah.
So and they're local over there in Potomac, so that's a good thing for them as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. Promoting and especially local events. It's the way to go.
yeah.
That's cool. And the routes for this year, are you doing the same? It's at
Yeah, so there's four different routes. We have, I think it's advertised as an 18, but it's a little short. It's probably like 16.7. But
okay.
the people who do that route will swear that it's like 20 miles, because it's not an easy route.
Yeah.
So, but that's our easiest route we have.
And
Then we
that
have
has 18 miles and elevation is
it's probably about 1,800. I mean,
1800.
everything out there is about what is it, 100 feet per
Okay.
mile. So,
Yeah.
1,000 feet per 10 miles. It's kind of your average, but it's punchy out there.
Yeah, it's
So
punchy. Yeah.
yeah, everything's, like I said earlier, straight up, straight down. And so you don't realize it. I tell people, don't hit it too hard, and especially if you're doing the 50 miler, all
Yeah.
the main side single tracks up front. So
Right.
take it easy on that, because you still have 30 miles in the back that you got to finish up. So
Yeah, there's a few gravel climbs that are punchy.
yeah, they are. Yeah, and sometimes they're, depending on how many vehicles have been around them, how loose they are
They
or
get
not.
loose,
So
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, so we have the 18 and the 30-mile routes are on the main side and stuff. So
So the 30 will have like
it'll be all the
25, 3,000 elevation.
yeah. So it's
Yeah,
somewhere around there. So
that's a lot for 30 miles.
yeah, it is. It is. So, and so that does all the main side, and then we take you over to that Geiger loop, and you do that, which has that pipeline climb, which is like 300. It's
Yeah.
it's really steep for about 300 feet. So, I still make it up it. So, with my heart, that thing gets my heart rate going more than anything else. So,
There is a segment, I can't, I don't remember the name of it, but there's a segment that it's a gravel climb and it goes up and it ends up on I don't know if it's a satellite, the thing that is spinning on the top of the climb. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah.
And I had that segment for like 2 years on one of my good years.
Yeah, I
I
think
had
that's
the
called.
KO.
I think that's Tank Hill. Is
I
what
had the
that.
KOM
Yeah,
for a while, and I
that
think
one could be loose. That one could
Matt,
be
I
loose.
think
Yeah.
Matt took it from me.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Gotta go
But
take
since
it back.
right,
Yeah.
since not a lot of people is like riding on like the weekly
Yeah.
basis over there,
Yeah.
and then I had it for a long time, but it's gone now.
Yeah.
But
The OCS side is. I really like going on the OCS side. Some people don't. They don't want the gravel. They just
yeah,
want single track. But so then we have the 35-mile route, and that basically doesn't do that main side single track. So it gets you through the start onto the road, and then you basically head over to OCS and do all the gravel on the single track that's over there, and then Geiger loop, and then you finish up. So, but that gives, I mean, a lot of people love that route. So, I have a bunch of folks who come down just to do
yeah,
that route. So I mean, it's fun. It's different.
yeah,
It's a nice mixture of stuff. And then of course we have the 50 miler, which does everything. So,
yeah.
and that's pretty much straight. I think that's right at 50 miles. It might be 49.87 or something like that, but it's all you want.
Yeah.
And I tell people, if you want to see what kind of shape you're in, if you're going to be racing,
Yeah.
it's a good route to test your metal and see where you are. So,
Right.
you can definitely go in hard and find out that Quantico, even though you look at a map and you're like, there's no mountains here.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It'll take it out of you. So,
There's a trail that similar that I always compare, and it's down in Annapolis. It's called Waterworks. I don't know if you've ever been there.
yeah, I haven't been to it since they've done all that trail.
It has similar to where like, oh, you're on the flow, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you get hit with like
Straight up, yeah.
a punchy climb. Yeah,
Yeah.
the 50 mile is definitely a challenge. It's the hardest for me. It's when you go by the parking lot and it's like, I can just go home.
There's a couple spots like that.
Yeah, it's like the car is right there. I
Yeah.
could just, you know,
You see that after you do the front side
yeah,
single track. You go out and you do all OCS, and then you come back again, and you can kind of see over there,
yeah,
and then, you know, I it wasn't on purpose, but you pass it again, and then you
right.
have to do that hard climb out
The
to
like right,
finish.
the little
Yeah,
and
it's
then the
it's called
loop.
Old Butts, but you,
Yeah,
you have to climb up Old Butts to get to Butterfly, and then get back out to the main road.
yeah.
And originally we had that trail getting to the top of that, and then going out and doing some more gravel, but we decided after a while to just turn right and let you go back, and then drop that final steep little downhill to the
Yeah.
finish. So
Yeah, like the I think one of my favorite parts is the there's a section where you go by the lake and you're
hmm
riding, you know, along the lake and then you exit out on the road.
yeah,
That's one of my favorite spots. Just the view because everything is like getting green by that
yeah,
time, so it's
yeah,
so beautiful.
yeah. I'm a little concerned that this year that the green's not going to pop out.
Yeah.
It's going to be right on that border
Right.
of, because usually we do trail work and then the course marking, and when we're doing the course marking the week before, it's like, suddenly everything, the whole canopy is like popped, and you're
Right.
like, wow. So we're going to be right at
Yeah.
that kind of, it's going to be starting to pop, but maybe not fully, fully
Especially
out.
next week, it's gonna be really cool. We'll see.
Yeah.
I was writing yesterday and I saw some stuff already coming out. So
Oh
hopefully,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Mother Nature
Yeah.
doesn't wait, so it's amazing to me. I mean, she just constantly stuff is coming out. So trees are constantly falling too.
Yeah.
I'm amazed we still have a standing tree in that forest, as many as we've cut out, but it's still full when you ride around. So
Is there what why is it why are you ending the event? Is there
mainly just because I'm tired of doing it.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I
I mean
said,
10 years, dude, that's a
yeah,
lot.
I volunteered the first year to figure it out. It took me probably 3 years to kind of get it,
Hmm.
under my belt, and say, okay, I've got, a pattern, a rhythm, something I could duplicate every year.
Right.
So I was hoping somebody would step up and say,
Nobody wanted.
okay, yeah, I'm ready to take over. But, 10, 11 years now as the event coordinator, it's a big demand for a purely volunteer position.
Right.
So, and it's something you got to keep going like all year. So, I mean, I keep tabs with our industry partners all year.
Right.
I keep tabs with, the food truck, and, everybody who supports the event, basically, Bruce Buckley, our photographer, and,
Hmm.
Teo with Fairfax Screen Printing. I try to keep tabs with everybody all year long. So,
It's not just, oh, it's a weekend event. It's something that you have what, like
yeah,
six
yeah.
months before the event,
I
like
mean, there's a lot of planning
reaching
you
out
have
to brands.
to
Yeah.
do for it, and then, you also, we use the tri racks that hold up the bikes. So,
Hmm.
we don't have those, but Andy Bacon with EX2, he
Hmm.
loans those to us every year. So, and he does an event right after ours. I think it's the Rails to Trail, or Trail to Rails, or something of that nature. Um, and so, I've had to coordinate with him to say, okay, let's not
Oh,
have
I
the
see.
the events on the same weekend. So, but he's been fantastic, because we had the Marine Corps Marathon used to loan us their truss and their racks, and they weren't able to do that anymore. So we're like, okay, where do we get these things?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you've been there. The tri racks really make, it's kind of nice,
Right.
because bikes aren't lying everywhere. You can just hang them up on the tri rack. So that's a big support that Andy gives us, and we appreciate every year. And then the truss, Chris Scott with Shenandoah Mountain Touring, he has a truss system, and I've reached out to him because I ride a lot of his events,
Hmm.
and he's always been kind enough to loan that to us. So,
Nice.
and so I'll give him his shout out. So, because
Yeah.
he had some really fun events
He
too.
does.
So
I'm gonna try to get him on the podcast. Not that he needs any promotion for
yeah,
his
yeah,
stuff, but it's you get the point. The honestly, the we talked last year to try
yeah,
to and do it, and the main reason why it's because it gets the from your organizer the point of view first of all, what it takes to do an event, how much work it goes into it, and then you always get those negative comments at the end of the ride. Oh,
Yeah.
they didn't have this, they didn't have that, but they don't know how, how much work you guys put
Yeah.
into it. And then the other point of view that I want people to get to know, it's like how to do the event, like what to expect, like, what not to do during the event, things like that. And I mean, because I'm sure you get a lot of new riders. It's not like us, we go back every year, but I'm
Yeah.
sure there's someone out there like wondering like what do they have, and
Yeah.
so I want to get him because he does gravel rides, he does like the Shenandoah, which I have done a couple of times, and then the 60/40 I didn't do this year, but he'll definitely
I
be
mean, is Stokesville out there? It's
endless.
one of my favorite places to ride.
Yeah.
I mean, the trails are fantastic. They're challenging.
Yeah.
They have some flowy stuff out there as well. So
Get like 5% of it.
yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
So he just did the 60/40 you mentioned earlier, which is a great one to kind of figure out. It's a fun event.
I've done that one
I
once.
think people race it, but I usually go out and just ride it. It's a lot of fun.
The last 3 miles of those are, at least I'm not a rock guy. I don't like doing. I mean, my travel it's like 100, 110.
You go down Lookout, so
The last 3 miles is just like
I mean, I love that trail. So I mean, I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely challenging. And then he does the Stupid 50.
I haven't done that one yet.
Yeah, it's 50 miles and it's got a crazy amount of climbing to it. It's right up my alley.
Yeah.
So yeah, it used to be in Pennsylvania and they had some really crazy routes, but he's moved it down to Stokesville the last several years. And then of course the Shenandoah Mountain 100. So, and thankfully he's had a couple years where he's had to do. He hasn't been able to do his original routes, and so that's been a challenge trying to. Because when he's not allowed to use the roads, you have to go up Schaefer Hollow, which is a really tough climb. Right, you got to climb out of the campground, and then you got to climb up Schaefer Hollow, which is what you descend for Shenandoah Mountain, that sort of stuff. So,
1 year I did the year where I think it was the last year that they did the original route. Excuse me, and then a couple years after, I did a route that I mean I'm not like the pro guys who will climb anything. We did a route that it was. Like we were hiking the bike for like 40 minutes.
That's up Schaefer Hollow, yeah. And but yeah, he's been able to get back to his original routes now, so that's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely going out there this year for sure. Yeah.
I usually help out with. I do a lot of trail maintenance for him,
cool.
So as we're preparing for it, but this year, hopefully, I'll be in good enough shape to either ride the 100K or the 100.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
We'll definitely be out there supporting that event. Okay, so we got that. I was curious about what it was why you didn't want to why it was the end of the event, but that's good to know. I thought it was something with the base like shutting you guys down.
I mean they would keep going, I'm sure. It's just a matter of we've had I would say our core group, a lot of people are retiring and moving on,
right?
And so and then just I have my own personal goals that I want to do. I want to do the Tour Divide in like 2 years. I want to, do more bike packing and some more longer events. So
that's awesome.
Those things take time.
Yeah.
Training and everything else. So, so hopefully we'll see. I mean, if somebody comes up in the club and wants to figure out how to do it again, I'll be more than happy to show them. So it just, it takes time and it takes, it's not an easy thing to do. So, but if I'm going to do it, my goal is to do it right. So I don't feel like, and I'm getting to a point where I don't know that I can dedicate as much time to it. So,
it's a lot. I was doing a podcast with the gentleman and he does that event it's cyclocross in Baltimore, and he was just pointing out of like how much work you have to do, especially if you have to reach out to everyone, if you have to do the posting and editing, and hey, are you guys on board this year? And doing that every year, you got to
reach out to everybody. Yeah, you got to keep all those contacts open.
Right.
So
and
I mean, we tend to not change the routes too much anymore, just because I said the base likes the route we have, and it sounds good to change the route, but there's a lot of stuff that comes with it. You gotta print new maps, and you gotta,
Right.
print new routes, and then I have to go out and ride every route, so I
Yeah.
have a route to post out,
And also
so.
for marking
Mhm.
and stuff like that,
Yeah.
especially if you have new
So,
people
and the
helping.
first several years we tried that, so we rode, we had the route the first year, and then the base did a lot of, they put in new water
Sorry.
pipes, and they did that sort of stuff, um, which kind of tore up some of the areas and made some of the areas that we originally rode unusable. So we changed the route the next year, and then the third year we're like, why don't we do it in reverse? So we did the route like in reverse, which there's some of those. It's kind of funny because we tried to do it in reverse, but there's some trails that just are not good in
Yeah.
reverse. So we still had to run those the regular route. So after a while, we're like, yeah, maybe we won't do that anymore. So, but I think, and the other complaint we had the first year is we did all the OCS stuff up front, and then we did the single track. But people were like, oh, we're too tired by the time we get to single track. So
Yeah.
we've kind of put that up front. I mean, you learn a lot of lessons as you go, and then you try to incorporate those each year. And I mean, oddly enough, I don't get a lot of complaints,
Yeah.
and some of the ones I'll get were like, I wish there's more single track. Well, I can't do anything
Yeah.
about that.
It's
We
like,
can't go create any more single track on the
right.
base. So, but I think as an event overall, when
Yeah.
I put out the surveys, people are pretty happy with it. So,
I feel
yeah,
like the fact of riding trails that you don't have access,
yeah,
not riding like, what we have here, like Schaefer Farms, Patasco, things like that, Virginia trails, you get access to, trails that are closed for everyone else,
yeah.
but you get that weekend to
And
where you can do it. So I think that's good.
that was, that was one of the reasons we set out to do it in the first place. Was they used to have the Cranky Monkey, which for years had Quantico on there, so a lot of people had raced some of those main, about 10 or 12 miles of the main side
Right.
trails, and so the people were familiar with that. And it seemed like Quantico was one of the favorite places for people to go, maybe because just that reason. You only got to ride it once a year.
Right.
So then Cranky Monkey kind of went away, and that's when we looked at, okay, what can we do?
Yeah.
Can we create a ride where people can still come out here and ride these trails once a year? So, and it's been successful. So
And now they're back, right? Cranky Monkey's like doing events here and there.
yeah, yeah,
I saw them pop
that,
up the other
yeah.
day.
I think EX2 might be using that name again
Yeah.
for his mountain bike event. So, which is good. That was always a fun event. I did some Cranky Monkey races in the day. I'm not much of a racer anymore though. So
I don't race either. I just go out and have fun.
yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal.
It's too much. It's people get trainer, coach, and
Yeah,
gotta like watch. I mean, I do watch what I eat, but at the same time, it's like a lot of work. It's like I barely get time to go out, twice a week,
yeah,
and then I have to. And I'm not a fan of the trainer, like indoor trainer.
yeah.
I can
I
do.
do a lot of that in the
Yeah.
wintertime. But
I can do 10 miles, 5 miles in, and I'm like,
yeah, if
get me
it
out of here.
yeah, if it wasn't for streaming, watching movies and
Yeah.
series, I couldn't do it.
And
But,
podcast.
yeah, yeah. So, but, that's the only thing that keeps you on. In fact, I'll go home tonight and jump on the train.
You're gonna
So,
jump.
yeah.
Do you do like the Swift thing, or just
Well, I
or just
mean,
spin?
I have Swift on, and I have different. I have some things that are just zone two, and then
Okay.
I have some just different sets that I've created. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
I'm not looking for speed or
Yeah.
anything. Oddly enough, I make stuff for like when I'm doing long climbs. So
Okay.
I will have like 300 watts or 330 watts that I'm turning at 50 RPMs,
Okay.
just trying to keep the legs going like I'm on a steep technical climb. So,
Oh,
I mean, I'll do
get the
different
legs
intervals
warm.
of that. Yeah, yeah. So,
Do you have like an actual trainer or like rolls, or I
um,
guess the
I have
resistance
the
will be
Wahoo. I have
the
a Wahoo
Wahoo.
kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a Wahoo kicker. I've got my old Kona hardtail mountain bike on
Okay.
it. So Gray Ghost, she's got like 9,000 miles on her now. So she's still hanging in there. I've got like a adjustable table,
Oh, okay.
over top just forward of the handlebars where I have my computer, my iPad,
The fan.
I have a fan. I never use that one though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I need to. I've got one on the floor too, like a Vornado, and
Yeah.
that sucker works really well. But yeah, I have my bottle up there. I've got the laptop speakers are terrible, so I've got a little Bose sound, an old Bose sound dock there that,
Yeah, can't go wrong
that
with bows.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that thing's old too. That thing's probably 15, 20 years old.
Yeah,
It's still
bows will
kicking, man.
last.
Yeah.
Bows will go forever,
Yeah,
man.
they're made well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have that set up, and that's what I keep some miles going. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I feel like I always tell everybody, man, you got to find something during the winter that keeps the legs going because
yeah.
summertime comes around and it feels like you haven't biked in 10 years. So I try to,
Yeah, I mean, my age is catching up to me too. It takes longer and longer. My son is he's turning 30 this year, but he's starting to realize the older you get,
yeah,
the harder it
the harder it
takes
is. Yeah.
to catch up, and weight just jumps on you a lot
Yeah.
faster. So,
Yeah, I put a jersey on yesterday and I was like, yo, this jersey is kind of tight. Why is it? It's only been 6 months.
I know I don't do jerseys anymore, man.
No, you
Those are
don't.
really scary. So I'm like a club ride guy with a collared shirt. Yeah,
I do find sometimes if I'm going on a group, I like the jersey because of the pockets. I
yeah,
do like a jersey under and then I put like a t-shirt on top, like, and it gives me like access to the pockets and stuff.
gotcha.
So yeah, the indoor man, like I have one of those. I have the Wahoo. I think I have turned it on like 3 times.
Hmm.
And my buddy last year gave me the. Have you ever seen that Wahoo that simulates the climb?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
I haven't used it.
yeah. No, I'll take it off your hand. I'd
Yeah,
love to try it. So
and it goes up as you're like see the climb on the
yeah,
Swift, and it just goes down. And I'm like, yeah, thank you, but I haven't used it. It's supposed to help, but yeah,
yeah. I've put when I'm just every once in a while, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna climb for 30 minutes or something. I'll put like a yoga block or
hmm.
whatever under the front tire just to lift it up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So otherwise, you're just flat and you're
Right.
working hard, but you're not in the same position. So
You
you're not
yeah.
leaning forward on the saddle the same and that sort of thing. So um,
Does that I feel like that helps whenever you like
it
sign up,
does when it gets steep. Yeah,
right?
yeah. I
Because
mean,
mentally it's like,
usually I'm leaning forward, scooting up to the tip of the saddle, trying not to get too much weight off the back tires. So
yeah,
yeah, I
you
mean,
should,
you mentioned something about when did you start mountain biking? Because I started in '90s, 1990. Everything was rigid,
yeah,
cantilever brakes, no sealed bearings. Um, it was challenging. So but you learn how to ride back then. I mean,
right.
that's the thing I kind of like, and it's probably why I like riding hard stuff.
Probably because you're used to.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I do 10 miles of this and I'm like, I'm done. Get me
yeah,
out. What
I
is
mean,
this?
I grew up in the Panhandle in Florida, so there's like no mountains there at
Yeah.
all. But my first duty station was San Diego, California, and I had nothing to do. I mean, I
Yeah.
was a single guy out there, going to school in the Navy, and I was like, okay, what should I do? I lived on Coronado, which is flat, and I went in the bike shop and a mountain bike. Okay, so got a mountain bike.
Do you remember like what brand it
Oh yeah, it's
was?
a Schwinn
Oh,
High Sierra, man. I love that bike. It's red. I
that's
took it
the
out.
that's the Walmart bike now.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of funny, yeah. But I took that thing out and I just kept wrecking.
Yeah.
So I couldn't figure out how to descend and I was pissing me off. So I went to the shop and I was like, okay, guys, how do I descend? I'm tired of falling down. And then they started talking about, oh, you got to get behind the saddle and all this kind of stuff that you don't think about,
Yeah.
if you've never ridden before. So, and one of the guys working there, he's like, I'm going out this weekend if you want. He's my age. He's like, yeah, we can go ride. So we ended up being really good friends for the next year and rode a ton of stuff. Got to be really good. He was riding like an old Specialized stump jumper. Everything back then had like thumb shifters and
Yeah.
it was crazy, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you learned, I mean, look up Noble Canyon out in San Diego. It's east of San Diego. Really hard route.
Yeah.
I went a couple of years ago with my buddy Bill, who lives out there in Corona, California now, and I was like, I cannot believe I wrote all this so many years ago on a hard, on a no suspension hardtail with toe clips. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a crazy route. So, and
And then you look,
and they're cantilever bikes that like don't stop anything. So, I
right.
mean, I remember going forever downhill, and I was like, I've got to lay this bike down because the brakes aren't stopping it. So, and I just found a sandy spot and just laid the bike on its side. I mean, it was crazy, but it's fun, and that's probably why, like I said, I like
Yeah.
hard, crazy stuff. So
Technical and all
yeah,
that.
I mean, no, I moved to Monterey after my first duty station up in Washington, and I've been lucky enough that my wife supports riding, and I was able to continue riding like. Even sometimes it'd only be like 2 hours on the weekends, but I could always get out at least once and ride throughout my career, and kids and everything else. So, and now a couple of years ago, I was able to just ramp it back up to doing endurance events and stuff. But I was thankful to be able to do that stuff. And when I moved to Monterey, ran into a big group, that lived there on base, and I'm still friends with them today. So, but I mean, we would go out, and it's like, let's find the hardest thing to climb and the hardest thing to ascend. And his wife was a really good mountain biker, and she went pro, but we'd be out training, and we're like, oh, challenge climb, and she's like, oh, come on, guys. She's like, I'm training.
Got to stay on some too.
Yeah, we would hit these just crazy steep climbs, and we'd give ourselves like 3 attempts to make it, and then we'd have to move on.
With like a 28 cassette.
Yeah.
Or maybe no cassette.
If even that much. Yeah, they were all three. We started with 3x7s, and I think maybe by the time I left Monterey, they were maybe 3x10s. So,
Yeah.
22 up front, the smallest one. So.
What do you, I mean, since you've been mountain biking, what is your favorite like innovation that, up to today on the cycling?
Disc brakes.
Disc brakes.
Dropper post. I didn't ride with dropper post. I mean, I rode a hardtail up until 2019. So,
Okay.
And so I mean, I'd always had some sort of front suspension. So, that I was kind of used to that. I mean, I could still get by with a rigid, I wouldn't want to ride the stuff I ride now with a rigid, but I mean, I could make my way around it. So, but the disc brakes were huge. I mean, you could just stop, no more arm fatigue.
Right. Just
like
with two fingers.
Yeah. I was like, that's great. And then when I got the dropper post, I was like, oh, this is awesome. So, but now I get on a bike without a dropper post, and I'm in like complete panic. I'm like, what? I mean, I use that post a lot.
Yeah.
I'm always hitting that dropper post.
It's funny because the dropper post, I just started using one last year.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't. I even have it on my gravel bike.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So.
Have you tried any of the new like fly attendant, like the electronic suspension?
No, I haven't tried any of that stuff. So,
but have you tried the electronic shifting and all of that? No.
That's that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
I do. I am now that Shimano's come out with theirs. It's gotten pretty good reviews. I am intrigued by it, so I may try it on my next one. But I go do these long rides, and even though their battery's supposed to last forever, I'm still a little concerned about that.
No, the battery. You shouldn't be. I've done like 2 days event with the SRAM battery. You're a Shimano guy, but I'm sure it's the same.
Yeah,
it goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and I mean it's not as much that I would say I had a friend who had the DI shifting on a mountain bike I had to borrow for about a week or two.
The DI2?
Mine was being repaired. Yeah, but this was probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, so it was like
so it was odd because it had like a delay, which I didn't really like a lot. So I mean, I'm old school, so I'm perfectly happy with the cable.
With the cable,
But I'll eventually. I've been looking at them. I've read some reviews. I'm like, maybe I'll try it.
Shimano is doing good because what they did is better than what SRAM is doing, which is I'm still a SRAM guy, but SRAM made it to where you have to get the cranks, you have to get the cassette. You have to have the SRAM, derailleur and chain. They make their chain special to only work with that. Kind of like Apple, if you don't have the charger, it doesn't. You can't
work,
use. But Shimano came out with the derailleur, and
Mhm.
that's really all you need, the derailleur and the shifter.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you already have a Shimano cassette, you can throw
You
the
can still use it.
wireless derailleur on the mountain bike, and that's really all you need. You
Yeah.
don't have to get the cranks or the special chain ring like how SRAM is doing it. And
Yeah.
they came out with the XTR, with the XT, and then the what's the
I think
Dior,
Dior. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is affordable versus SRAM. It's like a $2,000 for a group set,
Yeah.
more
And
than the bike.
yeah, I think I think they've learned a lot on that. And being a Shimano guy, when they came
We'll
out,
edit this out.
yeah,
We'll edit that
yeah,
part out.
with the X, yeah, with the XTR and XT, when they first came out with the 12
Yeah,
speed, it was shifting under load. I mean, it's impressive the way it works. And
right.
then they came out with SLX and Dior,
Hmm.
and they're a little heavier, but they have the exact same performance. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't really tell a whole lot of difference. So that's kind of nice that you can go across their whole product range and not really lose a lot of performance on it.
right.
So it's kind of nice. So
And if you don't care about the weight, I mean, we're there just to have fun, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, the first time I built up, I went from that Schwinn to a custom build.
Hmm.
Everybody I was riding with worked at a bike shop. Found a custom frame, got a bunch of deals. Um, you know, Finding the parts, getting the
Yeah.
wheel set built up, all that kind of stuff. So I built up that bike, and by the way, I've like built up every bike since then. I think I've only bought one bike, and that was that Ritmo AF. That was not a custom bike. So, um, but it was fun, but it was all lightweight back then. I mean,
Yeah.
in the mid '90s, everything was about go as light as you can. And what I found out is it breaks. I mean,
The
we had,
lighter it is, yeah.
that was before tubeless, so
Yeah.
we had lightweight tubes that would just puncture every
Yeah.
single ride. So you kind of went away from those, and then you had other parts. That was when CNC things were just starting to pop up, and you just find you make it too light and it just breaks. It's not
Yeah.
durable. So, I mean, my Ripno is like 34, 35 pounds, but I know it's not going to break.
Yeah.
So,
What's suspension? What's the travel on the Ripmo? Is that 130?
what is that? 160 up front,
Oh, gee.
147 in the back. So,
And
and
here
then
I thought 130 was a lot.
I've got the Ripley, which is their version 4. So
Okay.
that's the older one, but it's I think 130 rear, well no 120 rear, 130 I think up front. So
Okay.
yeah, that one's fun. I mean, it's a fun bike and it can
Yeah.
do just about everything. It's just you take a little more of a beating with it,
Right.
So, but it's lighter. It's a lot
Yeah.
lighter bike. So, but it's fun. So, but yeah, I was gonna say that all that lightweight stuff was just insane back then. But the one my one good story was Race Face had just come out and they were being advertised, and I mean all the cranks back then would crack at the
Yeah.
where you mounted them because it
At
was
the
a
little
square
screw.
spindle,
Yeah.
and people they were just trying to get that weight so low that it would just crack. And I mean I was light back then. I was probably because I was still young, so I was probably on like 165 or 170. Unlike I can get up to 210 or 215 now. But they were breaking, and then Race Face had just come out, and
What was that
I,
called? The next R or something like that?
no, it was the turbine. So the turbine was their
Oh,
original
turbo.
crank.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have those cranks as well. So, but I went to the bike shop owner, and I was like, hey, I want these Race Face. He's like, oh, I've got all these. I got Carumbas and double barrels, and it's like, nah, they all break. So I want these Race Face. So he ordered them. It took probably like 3 weeks for them to show up back then, and I mean, when I went in to get them, I mean, these guys were all standing there going, these are the most awesome cranks ever. And within 3 weeks, everybody in that shop was riding Race Face. So, and,
Oh,
I mean, they're indestructible. I mean, like I said, I still have.
yeah.
I bought 2 pair, and I still have one of the pair. So,
They're kind of fading now, right? I haven't seen much of the because they
yeah,
used to
not
do
as much.
they
Yeah,
used to do cranks. They used to do their little
they do all different
handlebars.
components.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, companies come and go. So,
Right.
I mean, they're still a really good company because they warranty their stuff for
Yeah.
life pretty much. So, and I mean, that's I only put stuff on my bike that the manufacturers stand behind. So
Yeah.
Cane Creek,
King
Wolf
Creek
Tooth,
makes good stuff.
yeah,
Wolf Tooth
I-9 always stands
Wolf
behind
Tooth
their
is
stuff.
also growing, man. Like
Yeah,
I remember they were just making grips,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Well, chain rings are
and
always their
chain
thing.
rings, and
Yeah.
now they're making pedals,
Yeah,
dropper
their
pose.
dropper actuators probably one of
I
the
haven't
other
tried the
things I
dropper
always
pose
use.
yet.
Yeah. So, oh, their
I used to
dropper
get
is
a I
fantastic.
used to get a good discount for them, but I haven't reached out. Being
Yeah,
lazy, like we were talking about, you know, it's like, hey, can I get a Coke? Can I?
yeah. Their dropper is really good. I like the fact that they made it fully repairable. So, I mean, you can pull
Yeah,
it
you
apart.
can, yeah.
You can pull it apart, do all the maintenance to it, put it back together pretty easy. So, and I really haven't had any issues
Is
with
that
it.
what you're
So,
running right now?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I've got on the Ripmo, I have the longest travel one. Was it like 240 or something like that? So
okay.
yeah, it's almost too much travel. So, but even with those, you can put spacers in and adjust the travel. So if
Oh,
240 is too much, you can put a spacer in and drop it to like 230 or
okay.
220, which is kind of nice. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
they
mean, the other one they're not supporting this year, but I'm a big fan of is Crank Brothers too. So I've been
Crank
riding those
Brothers.
guys forever. Their synthesis wheels, fantastic.
Yeah.
So they don't get any love. They had that weird spoke pattern for years, and then they went to the synthesis. But
Oh, they had that. It was kind of like popping out of the wheel, right?
yeah, yeah.
I think
It's
what's his name?
I forget what they.
He used to help on your event. He used to have a set of those wheels. What
Mm.
was his name? He was the Dominican guy, crazy dude.
Oh,
He's Marine. I think he was a Marine.
Carter. Is that
No,
Carter?
not Carter. Oh my God, he's gonna kill me for forgetting his name. No, it's not Josh.
That's why you cut this out,
Yeah, I
right?
can edit this out. Forget it. I'm not gonna.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I've been riding theirs for since like 19 when they came out with this synthesis, and I'm not a smooth rider. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the hard stuff, and I don't pick good lines, and I've yet to smash one of their rim sets. I've got a couple of their carbons.
Did you like their pedals, their titanium pedals? What
I
was it, Candy and the other ones?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on egg beaters forever. I liked them because they're just so simple.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have some negatives to them. I can't do the straight up egg beaters anymore because I need a platform under me.
Okay.
So I ride the Mallet ES, the Mallet E's, the enduro mallets, and then I have mallet trails on my gravel bikes.
Okay.
So, but I mean, I like them just because they're so easy to get in and out of.
Right.
Now, the negative side is if you're like pounding over a rock and you smack down on it, it releases that spring.
Oh.
So you just got to be careful on
Yeah.
how you're taking those pedal strikes. So
Yeah, being a Shimano pedal guy forever.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, they're
you can
solid. I mean,
beat those and
yeah, they last
yeah,
forever.
last
So
forever. Easy to like service to the bearings and all of that.
yeah, and I would say the other thing that Crank Brothers came out with, there's a couple of things that they like, but they came out with like their own shoes which match up to their
Oh, I haven't
pedals.
seen that. Yeah.
Oh, their shoes are fantastic. So
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
really comfortable. And I mean they'll fit on any pedal, but
Okay.
yeah, their trail, whether you get the lace up or the boas, I really love those things.
Yeah. Is that what you use right now?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I use
really?
those, yeah, yeah.
Come on, Crumb Brothers, hook it
That's
up.
right. That's right. So, but yeah, they're fantastic, and they're one of their early pairs because I was doing a lot of water crossings, started to delaminate, but I mean, they sent me a new pair, and I haven't had any issues with them since.
Nice.
And I put a ton of miles on
Yeah.
my stuff. So, their other thing they're good with is tools. They have really
The
great.
multi-tools,
Yeah,
yeah.
their multi-tools
I was
are
just using one of those,
fantastic.
yeah. Multi-tools are nice.
Yeah. So I mean, I've saved more people with that multi-tool.
I like it. They build not all multi-tools have it.
Yeah, the chain.
The chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
chain
lifesaver,
breaker.
man. Chain
Yeah.
breaker, yeah.
I
If you don't,
had to use that like 2 weeks ago because
Yeah.
I was on Massanutten and East Ridge doing a technical climb up. This 3-prong stick. It's like the type of wood that's not going to break. When
Yeah.
it went into my spokes between the chain, and then as the wheel spun around, it like grabbed my derailleur and spun that all the way around, messed up my derailleur hanger. But
Jeez.
Yeah, it was so I didn't, I always have all my tools in my bag, but I switched bags because I've been trying to like focus on nutrition.
Yeah.
So I have a Osprey, I forget what the name of it is, but it's more of a running pack.
Okay.
It still carries 3 liters in the back, but it's got all these nice pockets for
Hmm.
slide bars and all that kind of stuff in it.
Tools and stuff.
Yeah, but well, for bars for eating, I had my multi-tool, but I completely forgot like derailleur hanger or my little chain tool that I
Yeah.
keep, even though I had it on the multi-tool, but I like the one for releasing the quick link,
Hmm.
the pliers for that. So I've got a wolf tooth, one of those. So, but
Oh yeah, Wolf
yeah,
Tooth. They're killing it too with those multi-tools. The ones you
yeah,
can put on your handlebars
yeah.
and
They got
all
a
of
lot of
that.
different stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got a lot of cool stuff.
But I had to pop the derailleur off, pop the chain off, hike the bike out. But Veach Gap is like the final descent, which is like 2 miles, and running that with no chain on that
Yeah.
derailleur was a lot of fun. It's probably one of the fastest runs I've had. So
I feel like the quick link is now more standardized than back in the days. Hey,
yeah,
what are you running? An 8 speed, 9 speed, 10 speed,
yeah,
11
yeah.
speed? What do you have?
That's yeah. It's
Now it's more
now
like
everything's
everyone has a 12 speed.
12 speed.
Can I
Yeah,
get a quick
except for my
link?
gravel bike, I have a 11 speed on it. So,
Yeah.
but
All right, man. Well, I think we're closing. Do you have anything that we missed that you want to do or shout out or talk about?
yeah. Let me think. Let me look at our little list real quick if you
We
don't
have the
mind.
shirt. If you guys
Yeah.
haven't signed up, make sure you signed up. So
So you'll have to cut this part out because I gotta look at my little
that's
list here.
okay.
So, yeah, and I gotta put my glasses on. I did mention the bike shop, so I want to make
Yeah,
sure I
mention
mention
the bike shops.
I mentioned the industry partners we
This
have.
the sign up. I know some people send me questions about the sign up, and just make sure you follow the instruction on Bikeberg. It'll take you to like an external link to sign up, and they do like a light maybe background check or no?
Well, so yeah, so you have to do D bids.
Can you
So
explain a little bit what that is?
yeah, so it's like the defense base identification system. So it's basically like a light vetting to verify who you are before
Right.
they let you on base. So
I know the question, and I got the question. If you're not straight with the you know legal stuff, you probably shouldn't go. Right?
yeah, yeah. So I
Okay.
mean, I would say, yeah, if you have warrants out for
Yeah.
you or those sort of things, that's probably not going on board a military base. Probably
Yeah.
the best thing to do. So
Okay.
most people, I don't think. I mean, since you have to do the pre-registration for D-bids,
Yeah.
I mean, you would figure that out as you're going through it. It's asking those sort of questions. So, but when you register, that's one of the questions, custom questions.
Right.
Are you military or military related? If not, you have to do D-bids. And then, in fact, we're just inside the 30-day window. So probably tomorrow or Friday, I'll send out the email that says, hey, this is how you go through the registration process. It's got the email, it has the link on it. It has the information for the event, which, event name, date, my name, and contact information, because I'm basically your sponsor while you're on the base.
Right.
So you fill that stuff out, and then that's your pre-registration. And then once we're within 2 weeks, if you're local, what I would tell folks is if you can get down to Quantico during the week or on the weekend, I think it's open on Saturday, but not Sundays. I have some information here you can put on your site.
Okay.
Then go down there and get your pass. You can do it. I think it's 2 weeks early, but we'll have to verify that. But get your pass, and that way you don't have to do it the day of, because there is always a big
Yeah.
line. So,
I've done the line a couple
yeah,
times.
and they're good. I mean, everybody makes it through. I try to get
Yeah.
everybody on the trail by 10. But
They're quick too. Even if it's a line, as soon as they open, I mean,
Yeah.
they move people in fast.
the key is having the right ID. So
I was just gonna say that because
so-
one time I forgot my ID and I had to have someone run it halfway and then
Yeah.
meet them halfway.
yeah. So I mean, if you want to make sure if you have a real ID, you're golden. I mean, because you've already shown social security card and birth
Right.
certificate and all that stuff to get it. So if you don't have real ID, then I recommend I'll give you that number. Call the Quantico Visitor Control Center and verify what you need, because it's usually 2 forms of ID and a birth certificate, something like that. So,
Oh, okay.
um, and always there'll be, 1 or 2 people who don't
Yeah.
call and show up with the wrong stuff. And if you're not local, you're not
Yeah.
going to get that. So you're not going to be able to go home and, grab your birth certificate or, what other piece of ID you need to prove it. So if you have if you have a passport too, that's good
Yeah.
as well. So,
You have it
um,
as a backup.
yeah. So register on bikereg.com. It's got some questions on there. Like I said, this year our shirts are going to be purple and a maroon, which looks like this color.
Yep.
So if they can see that, both nice, really nice colors, have been popular. I've used them for volunteer shirts, and then I have people who are like, I really want that shirt. So that we're going to do those 2 colors this year. You can choose which one you want. So, but yeah, sign up for it, and then you kind of give an idea of what you want for food. So that
Definitely
way,
going to tacos this year again, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're able to do the same food, if not the same vendor, at least the same menu. So,
Okay.
and then, I always ask how many beers you're interested in. We still have to do our alcohol waiver, but that typically gets approved. So, and that way I can figure out how much I need to, provide. So,
Right.
so otherwise you end up with way too much beer at the end of the
Especially in the base, right?
yeah.
Keep you
So
there overnight.
that's right. So, but yeah, so go online and sign up. So,
Okay.
I will say I have to put in our shirt order, I think on the 24th, 25th of this month. So,
Or a hoodie if you want to get the hoodies. They
yeah,
also got
yeah,
the hoodies.
the hoodie's fantastic too.
Yeah.
We just started that like 2 or 3 years ago, but super soft.
Yeah.
Everybody I've talked to who's gotten one's really happy with them. And I think we're charging $28.
Okay.
I'm not making any money off that stuff. So in fact, this whole event, the goal is not to make any money. It's just to provide, like I said, a really fun event.
Right.
As much things as possible between the shirt and the coin and the medals. Fully stocking the aid stations.
Yeah.
Having the food. All those prices go up every single year.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
porta johns are incredibly expensive.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I'm like, I hope you guys really like having that porta john there, because I
And
think
you
it's
have,
not cheap.
I mean, on the registration, you guys have a lot, at least like 20 of them. And then you got to do what, at least 1 or 2 on each station?
What's that?
The portal?
Well, we do one porta john at each station, and
Okay.
then at the start finish, we usually have 5 or 6.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so I mean, usually, and then if you're on the OCS side, they are like well stocked with porta johns that are like cleaned out every
Yeah.
week. So if you see one out there, don't say I said you could use them, but I mean, if you need to use one,
We'll edit that out.
they probably prefer you to use that rather than go behind a tree, So, but yeah, I mean, all those things end up costing. So,
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, I mean, sign up on bikereg.com.
I'll do mine tonight.
Yeah, and if you want to volunteer, go to the volunteer site.
Okay.
If all 5 of those bike shops I named earlier, A1, Bikenetic, Bicycle Pro Shop, Handy Bike, REI, are all going to be out there. So if you want to support one of those shops, just sign up for aid station support, and then put under club what bike shop you want to work with. So,
Okay.
but we really need folks for road crossing guards, and if anybody does medical, we can always use, if you're like first aid qualified or something like that, we can always use folks like that as well. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a fun event. So
Yeah,
everybody,
for sure
I
is.
mean, that's the one thing that's kept me going for 10 years is you want to pull your hair out like the night before. 'Cause I mean, I've got to print out all the stuff you have to print out,
Yeah.
and you got to print out who's all the name things. I've got to align them. My wife does the registration. So
The tags.
I've got to
and
set all
yeah.
this stuff up for her so her and her team can go through and mark people off. And then,
Yeah.
you got to have the bibs. So, all that stuff's lined up so she can hand them out. And then you've got the meal tickets and the beverage
Right.
wristbands when you come back in. And then, we do the drawing. So you got to do those things. So you got to prepare all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've got to put together, all the prizes to give out, those sort of things. So, Yeah, it's by the time we get to the event, and like last year it was raining, and we're like, oh man, are we gonna be able to have this thing or not? So
Yeah, I
weather.
couldn't go
You
last
said
year.
something about what's your biggest challenge? It's always
Yeah.
weather. So I mean, is it gonna rain? Is it, last year it was supposed to be clear, and then like storms still popped up.
Yeah.
So, but as long as it's just a little bit of rain, it's okay.
It's
So
okay.
you
Yeah.
just don't want a downpour. So
Sounds good, man. Well, thank you so much for coming,
yeah,
and
no,
I
thanks for
appreciate
having
your
me. So
time. And
hopefully we've gotten some good information
yeah,
here.
I
So
think we did, and I'll add the info. And what I'll do is I'll invite your channel, so the same video that I post on YouTube will also go out to your channel. I think you can do that on YouTube now. So
okay.
kind of like collab on the video,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and then I'll put it up on YouTube as well, to link up with the channels. And yeah, man, I'm excited. Thank you so much for the time, and I hope we got some good information out for people that it's either going to do it for the first time or they're going back to.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, if you've never ridden Quantico, I'd
Yeah,
say jump in and try it.
yeah,
So, and then you'll regret if you can't do it again.
yeah.
in the
I do want to
future.
say again though, for what you guys put out, for what you put out, and the amount of money that you pay to ride new trails, it's definitely a good deal,
Yeah,
because most event, and I don't want to put any names out there,
yeah.
but you guys know
they've gotten expensive these
we're
days,
talking about
man.
like in the
So
200 to
yeah,
180.
yeah.
So take advantage, guys, and don't do it last minute. So yeah, man. Thank you so
All
much,
right, man.
Michael.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.